What made Nelson Mandela great? Editor's note: Johnny Battersby served as a correspondent for the New York Times 1987 to 89 and the Christian Science Monitor 1989 to 96 before, during, and after South Africa's transition to democracy. He was editor of the Sunday Independent in Johannesburg from 1996 to 2001. He interviewed Mandela on numerous occasions and is co-author of Nelson Mandela's Alive in Photographs during 2009 and author of the Afterword in the updated version of Mandela, the authored biography, Harper Collins 2011. CNN. Nelson Mandela was always mindful that his leadership role in the liberation of South Africa from apartheid might not have been possible if he had not been imprisoned. It is impossible that I had not gone to jail and been able to read and listen to the story of many people. I might not have learned these things. Mandela said of the insight that he gained during his 27 years in jail. In an interview less than a year after he had stepped down as the country's first black president, Mandela shared with me reflections of how prison changed him. He said that reading the biographies of great leaders who had been able to overcome their shortcomings and do great also helped him to realize that behind every seemingly ordinary person lay the potential of greatness. I've been surprised a great deal sometimes when I see somebody who looked less than ordinary, but when you talk to the person and they open their mouths, there's something completely different, he said. Mandela said that the prison gave him time to think about the times when he had failed to acknowledge people who had been kind to him. Mandela said that at the height of the struggle against apartheid, he and other leaders were understandably angry at the humiliation and loss of dignity of those who suffer under the unjust policy. It meant that their actions were driven by anger and emotion rather than reflection and consolation. But in jail, especially for those single souls, you had enough opportunity to sit down and think, he said. There was time to listen to the stories of people who were highly educated and who were widely experiences who felt humble, he said. Mandela said that he had learned that when you had the moral high ground, it was better to sit down and talk to people and pursue than the correctness of your cause. If you have an objective in life, then you want to concentrate on that and not engage in fighting with your enemies. You want to create an atmosphere where you can move everybody toward the goal you have set for yourself, Mandela said. Nelson Mandela of handshakes. In his twilight, Mandela was at pains to publish and acknowledge his weakness and shortcomings in his family life. In his relationship with women and his first wife, Evelyn, he was keen to any notion of that might be bestowed on him. He also spoke increasingly about the importance of changing oneself. One of the most difficult things is not to change society but to change yourself, Mandela said in 1999 as a tribute to billionaire businessman Du Stian, who made his Johannesburg residence available to Mandela as the retreat after his prison release in 1990. Mandela had given similar advice to wife Winnie in a letter written to her in 1981 after she had been jailed by the apartheid region. Mandela noted that there were qualities of that from the basis of our spiritual life and that we can change ourselves by observing our reaction to the unfolding of life. 10 years later, Mandela said that it gave him a feeling of fulfillment to see that those Dion had changed and had learned to share his resources with poor. It enables me to go to bed with an enriching feeling in my soul, the changing myself by reconciling with former adversaries, Mandela said. I believe that the essence of Mandela's greatness was to change himself fundamentally during his period in jail and emerge as a potent leader and example for all humanity. Opinion Nelson Mandela saved my life. The reflection took me back to the extraordinary of the freedom. The legend become a man. Even now, the movement seems frozen in time. It was February 11, 1990, and the African sun shone from the clear blue sky on the wildest summer's day in Cape Town. About an hour's drive from the city, the international media thronged around the entrance of Need Prison Warders' house to await the emergency. One of the century's most iconic figures. I had arrived late at the prison and wandered unnoticed into the prison grounds where my slate blue cotton suit coincidentally blended in with the uniform color of the South African police. That might have had something to do with that I was when I strolled into the prison ground, but to this day I did not know. An unscheduled wait of an hour while Mandela consulted an anti-apartheid delegation including his wife Winnie, who had arrived an hour late, seemed like the eternity. When Mandela, flanked by Winnie, finally emerged walking down the president's mindscape, I lost all senses of time and self and strode toward Mandela to shake his hand and congratulate him on his freedom. He recognized me from the photograph and that accompanied my regular column I had written from the Cape Town, where I often analyzed the successes and setbacks of anti-apartheid movement and the African National Congress in itself. His face broke into a broad smile as we shook hands and he continued his historic walk to freedom. At the time, I was the Southern Africa correspondent for the Christian Science Monitor, which was for many years the only international news publication that Mandela was allowed to read in jail, albeit in a weighted form with pages and sections. On his visit to the United States in 1990, Mandela broke from his official program on Sunday, June 24th, to pay an unscheduled visit to the headquarters of Monitor at 1 Norway Street in Boston, to the astonishment of the editor and staff. Today, the Monitor is online only. The newspaper ceased daily publication in 2009. South Africa sings a positive boom or bust. I received an incredulous call from my foreign editor, John Lampman. On that Sunday, asked me if I could guess who was standing outside the building with two bodyguards asking to see the editor. It was, she said, Nelson Mandela. I was astonished too. I was intrigued that the founder of the newspaper, Mary Baker Eddy, also founded a religion. Mandela came to respect the Monitor's and fair government of South Africa during his time in jail. To this day, Mandela's weakness, his turbulent youth, and his sometimes tempestuous woman can still detract from the iconic status that Mandela achieved in his own lifetime. But the responsible airing of his weakness, including his own acknowledgement, in fact, humaned Mandela and focused on his extraordinary strength of character and commitment in overcoming both his weakness and adversity in his own lifetime. It augmented Mandela's greatness. Carrying one the work of Nelson achieved a universal icon that has always fascinated me most. He first conquered his jailers by convincing them that they were the one imprisoned by their own unsustainable policies based on fear and racial injustice, and that he negotiated them out of power with the sheer force of his moral authority and belief in himself. Mandela's example and action in becoming the country's first black president struck a mortal blow to racism worldwide and helped build confidence and pave the way for Barack Obama to pull off a similar feat in the United States. If Mandela has a global in fighting against racism and the quest for human dignity, it has been to be Barack Hussein Obama. The power of Mandela's leadership was rooted in the fact that at key moment in his life, he acted independently of the movement to which he dedicated his life and to which he deferred as a loyal and obedient member. He did so when he decided in 1986 to begin negotiating with his jailer from behind bars, not knowing where it would end. He did so continuing to refer to former President F.W. de Klerk as a man of integrity long after it was less popular to do so in the rank of the African National Congress. And he did so again when he went out on a limb within his own constituency after his release to support the overwhelmingly white South Africa rugby teams in the World Cup in 1995. Mandela said that even if he wanted to, he could not bind future generations to remember history in a particular way. Thus, the lesson of Mandela's life is that he has no need to bind anyone to his legacy, nor does he need any organization to do so. His actions in his own lifetime are his legacy that they will indelibly etched in history for generations to come as a living example to inspire the leaders of tomorrow.